Welcome back. Now, it is the puzzle to unlock for every business around the world. How do you increase productivity? Longer hours, financial incentives, better technology? Well, a trial of Indian tea pickers in Assam found the simplest of answers, giving their workforce glasses. Incredibly, it increased productivity by 21%. It's thought if the approach was followed across India's crop industry, it would mean an extra $20 billion in growth. Well, with me here in the studio is the report author and research director of the Clearly campaign, Dr. Graham Mackenzie. And also in our New York studios is Dr. Nalini Salagram, founder and CEO of Arogya World, a global health charity. Welcome both of you here to the programme. Graham, let me start with you because this is a staggering figure in terms of increased productivity. Just tell me a little more.
Yes, it's astounding to think that some 700 years after glasses were invented, there are still 2.5 billion people who need glasses but don't have access to them. And Clearly and its research partners, including Vision Spring and Orbis International, were interested in finding out what the impact of this might be on productivity and earning potential of farm workers in rural India. So we conducted a randomized control trial, about 700 tea pickers, predominantly female, over the age of 40. And while I'm sure no one will be surprised to hear that glasses did improve productivity, what was astonishing to us was precisely how much they improved productivity by. As you mentioned, 21% for all workers over the age of 40, but as high as 32% for workers over the age of 50.
That's incredible, isn't it? Like a third extra. In terms of the amount of people within that workforce, how many needed glasses? What did it cost to actually give them the glasses that they actually needed? And in terms of the extra earnings, where did that actually go?
So yes, an astonishing amount of people need glasses. In this case, it was something as simple as a pair of reading glasses, which cost as little as $1.50. And there was about half of all the workers needed them. And the amazing thing is that this, as you say, this boost in productivity resulted in an increase in earnings for all the workers because they're paid on the amount of tea that they pick. And as you said, if you were to replicate this across the entire agricultural industry in India, it would amount in over $20 billion.
Well, I'll come back to that point in a moment. Let's head to New York and bring Nalini in, because your organisation is particularly focused on diabetes. Just tell me why and what actual work you do in this area, particularly in India.
So, diabetes and heart disease are two of the non-communicable diseases. Traditionally, we call them chronic diseases, but today we call them NCDs. And the heart disease is the #1 killer in the world. And these diseases are together the top health and development challenge in the country. Diabetes in India is particularly a huge problem. In cities like Chennai, for instance, 50% of the people are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes, leads to preventable blindness. It is the leading cause of preventable blindness. It leads to kidney disease, foot amputations, heart disease. And really and truly, it is an alarming public health crisis because
and with Graham's
the people
work,
get it very young.
Sorry to cut across you, there's a slight time delay on the line, but with Graham's work, you can obviously see the increase in productivity. In a sense, what you're dealing with is the other way round, areas that are lost to the economy. Is there any way of quantifying what diabetes does in terms of how the economy is actually losing from everything you've described?
So diabetes hits Indians in their 30s and 40s, at the peak of their productivity, in their working years. So the economic impact is genuinely staggering. And a poor Indian family, 25% of is spent on one person with diabetes. So we found that in our 10,000 women study as well. So it's truly staggering economic impact from these diseases.
Graham, Nalini concentrates on scalable solutions. You were talking about that 20 billion figure across other crop industries. I mean, how do you get to that figure? And what exactly in terms of the loss of sight, how did it help with the tea pickers? What were they missing?
So the viewers will not be surprised to hear that over the age of 40, almost everyone needs something like a pair of reading glasses just to improve their near vision. And that's what we provided in this trial, and that's what boosted productivity so much. Tea picking is a job that requires a lot of hand-eye coordination, and one would expect
more competitive advantage in the marketplace, better retention, and better job performance. And so when they buy that argument, they sign up for our process. It's actually very simple. We give them a set of criteria, and we visit them in person and assess them. And so because the entry point to our Healthy Workplace program is simple, it's not a huge checklist of several tasks. That is why we have had progressive companies sign up. Yes, we have 102 companies, including Indian Railways, which is the biggest Indian employer. We have Quinox, we have Reliance, we have Infosys, Godrej. A number of household names are healthy workplaces of ours. And they together span 2.3+ million people.
Well, we have run out of time. I know Graham wanted to talk about this being a game changer for all big companies working in poorer countries, big companies. So I think that comes through absolutely from the sorts of things you've been saying. Graham, thanks to you, and Nalini, thanks to you there in New York.